Well, it's great to be here, although I have to admit, Paul did not let me know I'd have to follow that series of speakers. So I'm just going to kind of bring you back down to earth right now. That was amazing. I mean, the last group in particular, but all of those groups were just out of hand. So you work in these government buildings every day, and you come to events like this, and it refreshes you. It reminds you why you do this work, just to help people like that be successful. And I'm just very personally grateful for being able to hear that. I should also point out that I met Paul at the White House, but Paul stuck in my head immediately because he was organizing a mentoring program at the White House. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about. But he was walking around the halls of a lot of people who were really over-caffeinated. We can't find coffee there. Had a lot of work to do, and trying to convince them to take a few hours a week to spend time with young people from the community. And he was successful at it. We had some great events at the White House, great place to have people over. But more than that, he really helped develop a program that accomplished a lot of the things you just heard about. And that resonated with me because I was in AmeriCorps VISTA in a mentoring program. And I was in AmeriCorps VISTA in 2003, and it was the experience that changed my life. And not a lot of people, I think, are lucky enough to remember where they were when things changed for the better. But for me, it was in Vermont. I have been to Matt Dunn's living room. Yes. Mike Foote was the one that brought us together many years ago. It was 12 years ago. And worked for an organization called the DREAM Program. And the idea with that was it was some Dartmouth kids who had started a mentoring program to connect Dartmouth students with children who lived in a nearby low-income housing community. And they realized after they graduated that they wanted to keep doing it, but they weren't quite sure how they were going to be able to scale. And so Mike, who one of the founders who had worked with Matt at AmeriCorps, figured out he could get an AmeriCorps VISTA. And so I was part of their first class of AmeriCorps VISTAs, first in Norwich, Vermont, which is near Dartmouth, and then in Burlington. And when I left, we had 2 colleges we were working with, and this is again back in 2003. And I just was looking at their website right before I came up. They're now at 13 colleges with 18 affordable housing neighborhoods in Vermont and Massachusetts, over 350 mentoring pairs. So this is an organization that I got to be part of when it was just the 5 of us, 3 vistas, 2 campuses, and really no idea what we were doing. And it's now grown and continues to be sustainable. So it was an incredible experience for me. But the point I wanted to make today is everything that's happened since then. So when I was in Matt's living room, that was 12 years ago. And I think you would be the first to agree, a lot's changed since then. I left AmeriCorps and shortly after moved to Washington, D.C., where I worked in a consulting firm that helped organizations use technology to organize. I ended up getting involved with then Senator Obama's campaign for president and quit my job and moved to Chicago. I guess the AmeriCorps VISTA helps you kind of make those kinds of rash decisions. And my wife, by that point I was married, and so it was a little bit different, but she came along. She's also a VISTA alum. Yeah, you got to marry a VISTA. I mean, right? Yeah. So anyway, the point I wanted to make with that is I got to be part of this change firsthand, the change that technology is having on our society. And in his presentation, Matt talked about attacking the problems of today, or attacking the same problem with the tools of today. Couldn't agree more. And when we look at some of the initiatives that we're seeing, integrating technology into how we're addressing poverty, it's really important to put that in context and understand just how profound that difference has been in the last 10 years. The Obama campaign in 2008 was nothing like the Obama campaign in 2012. The White House in 2000, when George Bush came in, nothing like the White House in 2008 when we came in. And that's just because of the tools that were available. And so what's really exciting for me is to think about where we'll be in 2020, which isn't that far away. Where we'll be in 12 years from now, not 12 years ago. And to know that we're equipping young people with these tools, they're going to be the ones solving those problems. The other point I wanted to make is something that has been an incredible thing I never really anticipated now that I work at the State Department. Part of my job is traveling. and really trying to figure out how the United States connects with audiences around the world, foreign audiences. And I've been many different places I never thought I would go. But to a country, from Zimbabwe to Philippines, what inevitably happens is I meet with a lot of dream programs. I meet with a lot of scrappy, small NGOs that are trying to solve a problem in their country. And they're always surprised to hear about my AmeriCorps experience. You know, a lot of people around the world think America's perfect. You know, they think we don't tackle these kinds of problems. We don't have these sorts of problems. Everyone drives around, you know, food in their fridge, gas in their car. They all go to college. They don't have any challenges. And I get to talk about my American experience tackling some of the same challenges with poverty that they struggle with in their own country. And for me, it's made the domestic version of Peace Corps phrase something I use when I travel. It's how I explain how the United States isn't just sitting on a podium trying to tell everyone how they should try to improve, but actually is self-reflective and focused on how it can continue to improve itself. And so whether it's these nonprofits around the world that I get to talk to and use my VISTA experience to help motivate, or whether it's organizations like this that we're seeing VISTAs today make successful, it is just a privilege to be here at the 50th anniversary to be able to share a little bit about my story and remind all of you that VISTA is an incredibly powerful and motivating organization, and I feel so lucky to have to play just a small part in the VISTA family. So thanks for having me today. Enjoy the day.